What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping into Destiny 2 with some news updates and goings on in the game this week. So firstly today, there has been a potential leak for Season 14, namely the title, which is supposedly going to be Season of the Splicer. So we'll discuss what that could mean and why it's quite possibly true. And then we have extra discussion about Season 14 changes, some community frustrations with upcoming systems, and more content in May. Plus some other future content hints, Guardian Games issues, and more to discuss in the video. So as always guys, I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, a rating below very much helps us out. But now, let's get into it. The first thing to touch on that's pretty interesting is that Season 14's name has reportedly been leaked via Bungie's website. So this was originally posted by Josh Hunt on Twitter, but also a little more widely covered now on YouTube and Game Insights. And it is quite an interesting one, but of course take it with a pinch of salt, as it isn't something that's been revealed by Bungie. But if the source is true, then it's a pretty significant lead. So Josh Hunt, who runs DestinySets.com, tweeted that apparently next season's name will be Season of the Splicer, and it was actually found in a line of code on Bungie's website. Although apparently after a couple of days, Bungie actually changed it, which of course, if that's true, is also interesting in itself. But folks have pointed out there have been both leaked and organic references to splicers in the game recently. There was actually a leaked audio line that referred to splicers working with Guardians and Elixni in the city. And of course, splicers are groups of Fallen that may immediately make us think of Siva back in Rise of Iron. And it just so happens that they were first introduced into the game during that expansion. But splicers are essentially Fallen engineers and scientists, so they're seen across multiple Fallen houses and aren't necessarily just linked to Siva. But there is also a potentially interesting link with the Vex, Vault of Glass and splicers, because previously we've seen Fallen attempt to use Vex technology, and that included when we returned to the Vault of Glass to fight off Fallen during House of Wolves. And of course, if any Fallen were going to be messing with Vex technology once again, it seems pretty likely that it would be their splicers, scientists, and engineers. So that's quite a lot of interesting potential to that piece of content we know is going to return during Season 14. So for now, we potentially do have that season name, Season of the Splicer, and I think it seems quite likely, but as always, it hasn't been revealed by Bungie officially, so things have the potential to change. However, if this was indeed from Bungie's own site, then I would assume or hope that Bungie wouldn't be trolling us right there, so give us your thoughts about it down below. With us being right at the back end of April now, we're certainly going to get a reveal for that season very soon, so we'll have to wait and see. But speaking of trolling, Bungie announced their armor transmog system details last week, and it's safe to say the community are pretty frustrated at a few elements of that system. Not least the fact that tokens required to convert armor pieces into ornaments are going to be limited per season, meaning we can only get 10 per season through gameplay. But Bungie do allow players to purchase more via Eververse with real money. And in reference to that community feedback, DMG did say, thanks for sounding off with feedback about the new system. As always, we're in this for the long haul, looking forward to seeing you all get your hands on armor synthesis. So they are at the very least aware of what the community have been saying about that system, and it's without a doubt a pretty frustrating idea that there's such a small limit on how much of this can be done through gameplay, especially for folks who want to access most of that collection, right? It would take a significant amount of time, or indeed cash, to convert the majority of armor sets into ornaments. And some players may say that a lot of players will probably only do a handful of sets over time, and that may be somewhat true, but I think one of the annoying things for the community is that armor synthesis has started to be sold as this awesome way of offsetting some of the issue around sunsetting, and potentially being a fix for some of the issues around gear relevance. And so to have an element where there is some monetization linked to that system can definitely feel a little bit obnoxious. And I understand the folks as well who say it potentially sets a dangerous premise for monetization in relation to endgame pursuit. And so while I think the system overall is still going to be pretty cool, I do hope that Bungie can seek to adjust the parameters of that, especially if it does turn out to have the issues we suspect it's going to once it makes its way into the game. So be sure to let us know what you think down in the comment section, and as always I'll keep you posted if Bungie have any news or changes for us. A couple of updates here and bits of communication from Bungie, but we had the first ceremony for Guardian Games over the weekend, and Hunters won that first week. And players asked, why are there fireworks for Titans in the tower when Hunters got the first week's win? DMG did say that the team is working to fix that, but no ETA just yet. I saw that myself actually after getting the Xur video done last week. As we could see, despite the fact that Hunters have won, we've got Titan fireworks going off in the background, which is somewhat bizarre, so just bear in mind that that is a bug and it could potentially repeat itself this week. Critbuff on Twitter pointed out that there's going to be a lot of ammo in the magazine on certain hand cannon rolls after the changes to Bottomless Grief that are coming up. And DMG pointed out that the cap on how high stats can go will affect the magazine size right there for those weapons. But of course it means we can use an alternate perk in that column. And of course there are going to be the adjustments to adept weapons. One of the positives that we did have the other day, of course, is the fact that we're getting 3 new legendary weapons to the Nightfall rotation in Season 14, which will also get the adept versions when Grandmasters drop. So that's a positive element, but bear in mind, it means that all of the weapons for this season will be on a bit of a hiatus at the start of Season 14, but will once again be available a bit later on. Just bear in mind if you want a good roll of the Swarm or Shadow Price. We've got the next 2 weeks and then we won't be getting any drops for a while. And of course, Palindrome was the drop last week, so that one is technically no longer available until they return it to the game. A quick random thing to mention right here, but Merciful Spirit posted to Reddit a pretty interesting emblem for Destiny 2. It is actually visible on Light GG, but players are curious as to why it's got that Hive theme. So there's a conversation as to whether it could be a pre-order or related item for the Witch Queen expansion. We did see a pre-order emblem for Beyond Light actually very early on last year before Beyond Light launched. It is listed as being unlocked via a special offer as well, so that's something that's entirely possible, but with that unique Hive emblem right there, and the obvious reference to Hive Eyes, both in the name, but also on the emblem itself, it's certainly an interesting one, although there are a whole bunch of different emblems that haven't necessarily been used yet inside of the Destiny database. This one most interesting though, because it is linked directly to an enemy race, so pretty curious and something else to keep our eyes on. Let us know what you think about it down below. A couple of known issues to mention right here though. Bungie said that the Titan Contender Eververse armor set makes the player's body invisible in first person. All of these are issues that they're tracking and could potentially fix sometime soon. But also, certain shaders may erroneously remove the glow from the Eververse Warlock Guardian Games Universal Ornament set. The fact that the One Fell Strike Triumph must be completed in the Vanguard or Nightfall Strike playlist and be claimed before the strike ends. So if you want to unlock that one, you need to complete it in a strike, then turn it in before you leave the strike. The scrap exotic ship from 0 Hour is no longer firing its middle 4 engines. They also point out missing glows on Festival of the Lost Hunter armor, Ophidian Aspects ornament, coaxial bonds no longer displaying Siva particles on the Warlock's right arm. The Metropolitan Frigate ship's wing animation displaying poorly when warping to a destination, as well as the quick charge mod not increasing the ready speed of shotguns at all. Missing kill trackers on the Mida mini tool, and region chests in Trustland showing as unclaimed even when the associated region chest triumph is completed. So a few things right there that Bungie are looking to fix, and maybe some that you'd like to be aware of. But otherwise for today guys, that's what we have to talk about in this video. So be sure to hit subscribe if you want to be kept up to date with all of Season 14's info, which will be rolling out fairly soon. But if you have enjoyed this video, a rating down below very much helps us out on the channel. Let us know any of your thoughts on what we've discussed today. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you have an awesome day.